immortals, capable of mistakes. The journey's not here to be agonized upon.
Immortalites, welcome to another round of the monthly goals, the last ones of the first quarter of this century, 2025.
Welcome back.
I saw a joke the other day, which was like, Dad, what was it like being born in the 1900s? And it's like, fuck. All right,
That's true.
We're part of that. We're part of that.
For a long time, we're the only generation that was, a new decade, new century, new millennium.
Yeah,
So
exactly right.
It's not going to be for another 1,000 years.
It's gonna be good. I actually remember the New Year's celebrations of 2000.
Of 2000?
Yep. That's a vivid memory.
I kind of remember.
Yeah, we would have been 8 years old for those who are wondering.
I wasn't in Australia. That's why I'm like,
shit.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, ooh, I can kind of remember it.
Colombia memories.
That was like
they're all in like, how in Mexico it's like a sepia type color or
like a darkish brown.
Yeah, Russia is black and white.
Maybe Mum, if you're listening, put it in a comment. But I believe so. For the tradition, I don't know if it's just South America, but in Colombia definitely you have a tradition called the I forget the name. Mum will put it in there, but it's to burn off the old man basically, and you make a stuffed old man made out of like mache paper and stuff like that, and then you put clothes on this particular man and you burn it. To kind of signify the tradition of going from the old years. It was quite cool.
Stuff
There's lots of, we have a traditional candle lighting thing that we're doing next week over at my mum and dad's place as well. Cool. We're going with a couple of people. So that's one thing actually that Australia's got an interesting culture. We've talked about a stronger culture in some ways than others, but there's some of the other cultures of the world that have these cool traditions that we just don't do that have interesting meanings to it.
Yeah, ritual-wise, we'll get into the monthly goals shortly. I was chatting with a Norwegian guy recently, and we're trying to explain schoolies to him. He's like, "Oh yeah, we've got a version of that. It's called like Rus, and basically what they do is the kids who are just about to graduate during their exams. It's a month-long thing. They'll spend up by a bus." Between like 30 of them, and I'm talking like a proper
like a school bus looking thing.
They deck it out with like paint, lights, LCD, probably LSD as well. I don't know, and make it into kind of one of those chicken buses looking things that they have in Guatemala, and then essentially like they'll drive that to like raves and where other buses are at, and they party.
What the hell? That sounds so cool.
During their exams, and then on their hats, they get pins if they do certain things. And he was saying like crawling naked through a police station, having sex in a tree. He got one for teaching a sex ed class to like 13-year-olds or something. And yeah, just all
odd but interesting. Yeah, that's cool.
But they do it for a month. A month, people.
Forget a week of schoolies. This is a whole month long.
Exactly.
It's cool.
Anyway, monthly goals. This is where Juan and I, this being the Sunday, 30th of November, right towards the end, get together and we have a little...
Año Viejo.
Año Viejo.
Año Viejo is the name of that.
Oh, that's what it's
in
called?
Colombia?
Okay,
Yep, Año Viejo.
Yeah. We get together and we chat about the month that was previously, how we went. A little bit of thank you for supporters of the podcast, what's coming up for the next month, and then finishing off with the fitness challenge. Juan typically goes first, so he will jump into how we went for November.
Absolutely. So as I bring it up, I can kind of tell you by default. All of them were achieved. I only had 5 for the month of November, and all of them were ticked off. The first one, I still haven't even gotten it up, but I can remember it, was basically hitting 300 kilometers of movement for the month. That was very, very easy, actually.
But does that include that? How much running was of that?
About 140-ish kilometers. Okay. I'll pull it up exactly, but yeah, it was 300 kilometers of movement overall, and that's inclusive of running, walking, and just everyday movement. So I wouldn't say it was easy. Like I still was doing a lot of running, as much running as I was doing probably in the previous month. Yeah. But it was easier I was able to just walk and not be as focused in to the running, I'll just say per se. I'll tell you exactly for the month so far, 126.3 kilometers, and we're on the last day of the month. So 126 kilometers of running for the total month. 31 hours of total running as well. So, roughly an hour a day almost of running.
Yeah,
which is pretty like
one full day of running.
Yeah. So going through the rest of them, so you have 300 kilometers of movement. There was reviewing opportunities versus skill sets and time. Now, I did this, and I'll get into it in December goals. there's some interesting things I'm going to reveal today because I've made a mistake, everyone. I'm gonna share my oopsies in this podcast. So you wait for a moment, and then in the next Big Blind Talk December.
Sure.
So review opportunity for skill sets. Testing the interview this month to clean up and automate even more information, which I did. Had a few of those automation interviews and automation as well out of it. I actually found, to give you an idea, when we used to do interviews maybe 3 years ago, it would have taken me maybe as much as the interview would have taken to record, say an hour and a half, it would have been 4x the amount to edit, schedule, create all the things. Mm-hmm. It was almost one to one ratio, as in I was able to edit, schedule, and create all the things I needed to in about the same time that it took to record. So it was about an hour and a half to edit and all that. So I was like, yep, this was awesome. And the last two as well, on my plane walk, it was the month, just spend some time with no input, no music, no podcast. Now, it was interesting. I did do that. However, I reduced the amount of walks that I was doing because it's been so damn hot, and I've also been quite busy. So this was easy to achieve, but I didn't do that much of it. So it's like a yes, but caveat. And the last one was talking with my wife about our family philosophy and how we take the right actions on it. So yes, we had a conversation about it, the philosophy, and kind of confirming what it is, but it's kind of like a half done. We didn't discuss the right actions on it, on what it means. But you'll see it in the December goals, because it can be, that was too loose. So there's a way to tighten up the ship, and we'll see it in the December goals. So those are the 5 for November.
Sounds good. Nice. Very well done. Good that you semi-ticked off the philosophy one. I was intrigued about that. Cool. So I had 16, hitting 2 each for each of my kind of like annual big goals, that sort of thing. I would say in general, pretty happy. Pretty damn happy. Small things that I didn't do. Create a decent personal Instagram. Didn't do that. But at least I wasn't scrolling on Instagram.
Okay, it's a bit of a win.
That's a win. I was meant to be at a total of 85,000 calories for the month, which was essentially like, it was about 2,700 per day, something like that. Mm-hmm. If I didn't eat at all today, I'd probably be under it. But I think I am gonna. I don't care about it that much. I'm not going to. So I'm very close to it. I've been leaning down, getting close to 75 kgs now, and I'm looking pretty lean, especially like in the evenings when I eat and have the just like carb hit, fat hit and protein hit at the same time. Right as I'm like brushing my teeth, look at my veins, man. I'm popping.
You're like, I'm popping.
I'm Popeye over here popping out. So I definitely am feeling pretty good and feeling pretty lean, and it's sustainable-ish at the moment. So that's good. I did not renew my passport. Part of that was because I found out that they do the annual like increase of passport fees right at the like end of the year. And so my little FU to the government is like, I'm going to pay right just before that. So you'll see that carry on to the next. Did a tour of one of the potential apartments. That was good. Bought a whole bunch of new gym clothes, and that was pretty good. Probably the ones that I didn't do well, be uncomfortably firm in my standards. I like really fucked that up, and then I made up for it by, it was essentially where it was like, and that was kind of like a bit of a loose goal in mind, but essentially I did something which I wasn't very happy with myself about, and this was talking to a girl, and I chickened out essentially, and my standards in that case were like semi-related to this experiment approaching with directness, and I didn't do that. I then saw her a couple of days later and made up for it, and so the bad feeling I had of being like, what the fuck am I doing? I fixed that, but I fucked it up. And I also, what was the other one? I did not do the overhaul backup of the systems of wallets. Everything else, I think I was pretty happy with.
Off? Okay. Yep. Would you say that one on the approach, would you say that you neutralized it, or you were just sort of like, it's negative because there was that falter in the step? Yeah.
No. I'm very happy that I made up for it. Sure. I made up for it. So, I would say I came out neutral. But it wasn't like I did something good and then followed it up with something bad. It was like I did something bad and then I followed it up with something good. So, I don't know which is better. But yeah, it was productive month. I feel like I got a lot done, and yeah, happy with progress.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Just in terms of support or just general support to call out, I guess. What are you seeing? Have you been listening much more to the podcasting 2.0 and trends and everything?
I'm still in there. So we're talking about the Satoshi stream, struggling with something. I saw a Boostagram come in recently, so I think they fixed it up. Even though I'd put it down to 1% of our splits, but it still came through, so that's good. Yeah, I'm spending a lot more time looking at X402. That's kind of my honing in thing at the moment. So and I remember Dave Jones.
Did you talk about X402 yesterday at all? When you went to go catch up with?
I mentioned it, but
nobody knew about
people. No. One guy knew.
Okay, that's cool. Okay.
So we went to an AI meetup, which was actually part of the goals. Juan and I ticked it off one last minute, which was good. And yeah, so for me, it's more looking at how you'd maybe do value for value outside of just the purely Bitcoin and doing it through the podcasting apps. But yeah, I think things are just ticking along, to be honest. And that's the same for our support, I'd say. Really appreciate Cole, Peter, late bloomer actor come to mind, and some other streamers. But yeah, I haven't done the full, I'll probably do that next month, the full calculations of how much came in and put up the new graph on the...
Interestingly enough, as well, whenever, and I seldom do this, but when I do check the audio streaming or people who are watching, it's actually predominantly from value for value podcasting apps that we get most of our listens to. So, the likes of your Spotify's and Apple Podcasts, it's very minor. And our overarching, overwhelming amount of people that listen to us via audio is via all of these different platforms. So it's interesting that, it's still large in that space. But like you say, no, we haven't been putting as near as much effort as we were doing months and a year ago, if you say, into the value for value space. Makes sense that maybe some of that value doesn't get returned in that manner, but it comes in other ways, I guess, putting more effort
absolutely. If you want your name called out, meremortalspodcast.com/support, and you can see it there. I actually see Cole writing in the chat here as well. He's providing some value by saying, my December goal is to do one meditation, one breathwork session every day. Just got a new breathwork app with lots of techniques to explore. Nice.
Cool. I like it, man.
Experimenting with breathwork, I think, is always valuable. I've never... I have fond memories of doing the Wim Hof stuff.
Yeah, at least it's either interesting, like it's seldom negative, I guess you'd say. You'd either kind of come out of it again neutral, like, okay, whatever, or it was like, oh, cool, that was really sweet.
Yeah.
So,
I don't. Yeah, correct.
You're not going to go bad with a bit of breath work.
I don't think so.
All right, well, let's look at December 2025 goals for us. So straight off the bat, my call out is I made a mistake. Everyone, we are mere mortals after all. So this morning, I was actually reviewing my annual goals and the monthly goals. And I kind of went through my annual goals. And my usual process, again, review the annual goals, what percentage progress have I made, what's the new monthly goals that will help me align to that. And I reviewed most of the annual goals. And I won't pull it up exactly, but I think I'll pull it up. Of the 9 annual goals that I had, 1, 2, 3, 4, I've either finished, as in I've ticked it off and said, cool, I've achieved what I wanted to do. Or the other 2, I've kind of go, pause. I don't want to do any more work on that. Like I've actually realized that whatever I was pursuing there, it's not what I was after. So kind of leaves me with 5 goals for annual goals. And in the mind space, again, I break it down into body, mind and soul. There's no more. There's no more annual goals in the mind.
Okay.
Which kind of contradicts where I'm sitting right now because I have some interesting things roaming in my mind of what I want to do into the new year. And I went, I think this is probably the first...
Late edition.
Well, perhaps. No, it's a bit of an observation, which I did last year as well. But it was a bit of an observation where I think I messed up my annual goals this time around. And I put a little note, and we'll talk about it in a moment, of I need to probably just retrospect on, is it serving me the right way for the moment? Do I have to maybe pull back in the a la Tim Ferriss style? So Tim Ferriss's call-outs always in the sense of, I asked Tim directly, I asked him a question online, on a call. What's your views, plans, guides? Like in 5 years, what are you looking to do? And he kind of shot back and was like, nah, I don't think about that at all. Like I don't think about it from a 5-year plan. I think about it from a quarterly plan. It's just too many things, too many variables. And now that I think about it, again, the really long-term views of eminent human being and whatnot, that doesn't change because it's very long-term and all the values kind of underpin that. but I'm a bit hesitant to almost say this, but maybe annual goals is a little bit too long. I almost need it to be quarterly because things evolve and change quickly at the moment. Family life moves quick, learning cycles of things with AI and a few other things moving really, really quickly. I'm not going to jump in and change it right now, but I am going to take this month to do a bit of a review on the annual goals and go, okay, what are those additional things I might want to add as part of my annual goals, and start maybe playing with the idea of a quarterly cycle, if you will. It used to work really well years ago with the way that I had set it up because I did so many, and then it allowed me to kind of do it by phases. I almost feel like I stretched it too far. I made too little goals, which now some do either get accomplished or some just kind of go by the wayside. And now it leaves me with a bit of like an lurk without things to do. So here's a demonstration for everyone. Even if you've been doing things for a long time, things evolve, things change. And just like it worked for a 27-year-old me, it might not work now for a 33-year-old me. So you need to always, be aware. It might not work for forever. And this is the top point where I'm like, I need to just review that and have a bit of a look to see what the reality of it is.
It'll come up in our next episode on mastery. But the Norwegian guy, who I also mentioned just previously, his name's Ulrik on hands.
Oh, Ulrik.
And so he's a hand balancer. He taught my friend Brendan and got him to a pretty decent level. Mm-hmm. And he was just in Brisbane, so we caught up. Might even be catching up with him today again. And anyway, I was asking him, like, hand balancing as a job, what do you think it's going to still exist around in 5 years, 10 years time? If you're not able to do it yourself, let's say you're in your 60s, can you teach it to other people? And he was just like, man, I don't even think more than 2 months ahead for things like that. And didn't really answer the question, which I was trying to, I didn't particularly want to know about him per se. I wanted to know more about his thoughts on it as a profession in general. And maybe I didn't make that clear enough. So if I see him again, I'll try and press him again. But yeah, he was asking him about his annual goals, and his annual goals would be like, no. Yeah,
it's too far. It's not. And there's an interesting dynamic. I don't know entirely in saying this, whether this is if you have kids or you have other responsibilities, you kind of have to have certain plans together to do certain things. But then in saying that, there's just as many, I'm sure, examples in the world where there's people who are just planning quarter at a time, a couple of weeks at a time, whatever, and making it work really successfully. So I won't say it's because of that. I think it just depends on the individual and nature.
I chatted with our friend Joey yesterday.
Yep.
If he thinks more than 2 seconds ahead, that's a surprise.
There's the thing about why humans came out in evolution in the book Mastery, actually, at the very beginning, and Robert's talking about some people say opposable fingers and mirror neurons and a few other things, and one of the key aspects as well is our ability to predict for the future or to think ahead more than just the immediate animalistic thing that comes about. So it sounds like Joey's starting to evolve into a human. So well done, Joseph. Into a human you go. Also, there was another guy as well that was hating on us because we said that humans are animals. And he said, no, they're not. Humans are animals. This is a stupid lie from a new revealing information. Had a bit of a research, and humans are in fact part of the kingdom Animalia, but we had different species. And he was having none of it. He's like, that's new. I wasn't taught in the past.
We've been getting some funny comments in the book reviews.
So to the man to the individual who's a bit concerned that they're not an animal.
I used to respond to all of these, and now I just go I'll just give you a like.
Yep. Anyways, December 2025 goals. I've got 5 once again.
Okay.
1 is a fun one. This is an interesting one for me at least. For the body, I've got 2. 1, invest more time into the gym this month. So about 45-minute to 60-minute sessions. So there's less running. There's no running goals for December. I will predict that I'll be running maybe 50 kilometers, if that, for the whole month. So big reduction in running, more into just general training. Aspect of that is I'll probably end up running more just for the sheer, just doing it. There's parts that I've just wanted to do more weight training in itself. I've been doing run training maybe 3 months straight or something like that with a week off or maybe even longer. So probably a good time to pull back. It's really hot as well. I don't want to be running in supreme heat. I prefer that to do more so during the winter. And I'll talk about it in a moment with another one, but it'll partner up with something else. So the second one is I'm going to be planning out and documenting, including that first episode, I don't know, I'm not sure if I created or it's just planning it, but of the marathon prep. So big kudos to Nick Bear, for those who don't know, big runner guy and a training guy, needs to be in the army and blah, blah, blah. But his team and him create like really cool clips of videos of preparing for Ironman, preparing for the marathon, preparing for an ultra marathon, to doing Leadville, all these various things. And I love the documentation style of ways. The video creation from the team, fantastic. Now, we don't have a team to do this with, but I do want to maybe create something like that, like a bit of a series towards our marathon. We're both going to be doing it. So, part of that is just more thinking on the storyboarding of what I'm going to be doing. I really enjoyed doing the Torian video that I did way back when. That had a lot of time investment. So I want to kind of do what's the medium time investment, but that I can put it together into an actual smart sort of series that I want to do. I would find that fun. I've been enjoying doing my Monday Mere Mortals in Motion style of things, and they're easy to record. They're easy to record. Like, I don't have to really think much, and it's easy to kind of create. So in a similar sense, I want to just think of, it might be like an extended Mere Mortals in Motion type of style, where it's just more about a particular part of training. So again, something that brings joy right to it. So there's that. For the second one. The third one, I'm going to be planning out the first quarter. So here's the why I'm putting this out. So planning out the first quarter of 2026 for the Mere Mortal plans. So specifically it's Mere Mortal plans, but I want to, through that Mere Mortals podcast, use that as my lever to see, okay, can quarterly goal setting be a little bit better here? So one, I just want to see what sort of time investment I'm going to be putting into it. Two, I've got a template already for my just like calendar breakdown. What I want to try and do is go, I want to aim to do that episode here, this episode there. Why is it the first quarter? I've got something interesting happening in March that will then change again, life, and I can't really predict for it. So until then, it's just I'm going to be like, okay, cool. Sure. What can I schedule? What can I predict? What can I put together?
It's my birthday. That's what it's
birthday, exactly. Which we've got to figure out what we're going to do. So that'll be coming out as well. And what I haven't said here, but it's the inverse, although I mentioned it maybe in the Discord or somewhere else, there's going to be basically nothing coming out from the Mere Mortals podcast on my side beyond just this weekend conversations that we do. I might do a book review of Mastery if I do finish it in time. Apart from that, the fun ones would be Mastering Mere Mortals in Motion. But I'm not committing to anything. It's like, if I do it, it's because I wanted to.
Sure.
If I don't do it, don't expect much things to come in December. It's more of a quieter month as we lean into more relationships and catching up with people and etc.
Yeah. Busy month.
Yep. So the last two on Soul. One, setting aside an hour to reflect on my annual goals. So again, these are all coming into unison. Any improvements going into 2026. So review, check in. Do I still want to go down? Do I want to add, or do I want to shift to quarterly, or what do I want to do? So just to start reviewing that, to give you another guidance, you were talking about the points for fitness. Part of me the last couple of months or so, I'd be like, I kind of want to get back into it. I've started doing some more rowing. I did a really fast 2K row the other day, and I was like, you know what? It would be motivational beyond what I've been doing lately to put on a few targets to be like, I should aim for this, try and do that, and try and aim for this particular strength goal or this other thing or whatever. There's part of me that's starting to twist towards like, that would be fun. That would be more engaging now. Not sure if that's continuing, but we'll see. And the last one, so reviewing the family philosophy. Now, for how it gets put into action, and specifically, I'll be specific, it is for the 8 years of 3 to 4 years old. So what I mean by that is I kind of want to just think about it. I've got the philosophy down now in terms of what are the things that we care about and think about as a family. But the critical thing is you cannot have it just as we determined that you can't have it as a printout. You can't have it as a book. You can't just like extend it out as a manuscript or whatever, because kids who are young, they're not going to pick it up by that way. Often it's hard if it's just like an image or something like that. It's not that motivational or action driven. But what I want to put it into action is, okay, what does that look like in the group of 3 to 4 years old as an age group? What would that look like on a day-to-day basis to take the action? As an example, that might be, I'm just pulling this out my ass, but the one aspect going to be with swimming might be like, okay, how about every Thursday afternoon, we make the commitment to go for a half hour and go to a swimming pool and actually go and do a swim together, no matter what's going on. And so I set more of those precedents behind it. Those aspects about like, I think this is not embedded in my mind yet, but one aspect of the family philosophy is obsession about life. So again, what does that translate to a 3-year-old, 4-year-old kid? It might be if I see obsession or joy or some fascination about a particular thing for my daughter, leaning into that. Now, both for her, obviously my own things, but for me. So an example for me would be, I enjoy that documentation style of things. I like doing my editing like that. It's kind of fun. Cool. So then obsess over it. Make more time for that, and then take away time in other things. And so for me, taking away the time is, I think I've already spoken about it, is making those like really high reviewed, detailed podcasts where I'm talking about a particular thing. I did that. I spent a lot of time. I created it. It was beneficial for me, but it barely got any uptick from anyone kind of listening. So I kind of went, okay, that's not as valuable. I'm going to go and do some stuff that I'm more obsessed over. I'll find more joy in doing. So that's kind of the aspect of the family philosophy in action. But specifically, it's going to be like, okay, how does it apply to a 3 to 4 year old kid? Like, what does that actually look like? Because you can't, very different to a 10-year-old kid and having a conversation about how school went or something like that. Obviously, can't do that. But my daughter is starting to speak to enough of a fluency that you can have a little bit of a conversation now, which is cool. So how is that going to evolve over the next year?
Sure.
And yeah, look, in December. So I've got Christmas parties and catch-ups and loads of good stuff that doesn't appear on there because it's not part of annual goals, but that will take up a lot of time.
I'm wondering what will happen if she gets obsessed with something that you're not, I would say, great at yourself, or is
this is part of the the philosophy that we're trying to. And another thing I'll try to discover, it's like, okay, what if she becomes? I'll give you an example. I like dancing myself, but I would say I hate like the typical dancing with like maybe pom poms or going to an event for like. Well, I remember my sister did dancing back in the day, and we'd go sometimes to go watch, and I'm just like, I don't care for that type of dancing.
Sure.
If she got obsessed for whatever reason at that dancing, there's a principle, right? Is it the I can say this right now, but it's obviously much harder to put into action, is what actions or what do I need to demonstrate to go, okay, cool, if you're obsessed with that, then cool, let's put in the effort and whatever to help you out with that or be interested in that. Sure. Because one thing is saying it, the second is, something coming up where you're not interested at all, and it's like...
Yeah, I was thinking more, what crossed through my mind was drums. Sometimes I'll...
Skateboarding? Like for me, I don't really care about skateboarding. Okay. And if she was like, "Oh, let's go," I really like this.
Meditation. What if V gets really into meditation?
Oh, that'd be easy. No, that'd be fine. Yeah, I think I've become a little bit better. I do not meditation, but I do the 10-minute NSDRs, pretty frequently, like non-sleep deep rest meditation. If you think about it, it's 10 minutes. Love it. I love doing that, especially when I'm tired. But I don't personally go and sit down for an hour. But if she got obsessed by it, dude, that's an easy in. That's for sure an easy in. I'm talking like a hard in would be something that's in the morning where I don't go to the gym on a particular day because she wants to go see sunrise at a mountain.
Sure.
Okay? That's takes away from, how do I square that up? Where do I put the effort? Do I change my routine? So it's that type of review of life where I've got to go, okay, where do I stretch but also still keeping the things that I care about without being crazy and going to the gym at 1 a.m. or some crazy stuff.
Sure.
So,
yeah, alrighty. All right, let's think about. That'll be fun. Cool. All right, my December 2025 goals. I've got 16, as I have been doing. Mm-hmm. Let's run through them quickly. Strive for a lack of doubt or dower. I just tried to put this in because I was like, I didn't really know how to phrase it, and I didn't want to make it like multiple lines on my phone. Essentially, I had this originally as like, I was being a bit more like playful a couple of times with people, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is something I want to like strive and aim for a little bit more. Just be a bit more playful with conversations, especially at the start of them, because now that I'm, I suppose, like interacting with people more just in general, but also at the gym, I'm noticing like, oh man, I'm having a lot of like, hey, how's your day going? Oh, what did you get up to this last week?
Sure,
and they're just very monotonous.
Yeah, very mundane, very simple.
Yeah, I find myself going like, I'm sure they're going, at my response as well. It's not like, it's just, it could be better. And I have set goals in the past of being like, all right, I'm going to be more playful, going to be more fun. I was thinking, I'll say something off the wall every single time someone came in. How's your day going? Oh, I'm feeling like a lion who's been out in the sun for 5 hours. Shit like that. And I actually had some thoughts, and I went, oh, you know what? I've got a better way of phrasing this, which I think ties in with my whole idea or liking of paradox, which is you can have something which is one way, you have something which is the other way, and they both actually equal the same thing, or they're inverse, or it's very similar, but they diverge. And if I had to ask you, like, what's the opposite of something, of having something? What's the opposite of that?
Having nothing?
So emptiness, right? You'd be like, okay, that's the opposite of it. I actually don't think that's the case. And it's kind of like anti-fragile. What's the opposite of fragile? People would say robust, strong, sturdy. No, it's anti-fragile. So what's the opposite of something? It's not something, as in like a negative thing. And emptiness, I feel, is like a neutral. So, something would maybe be like, what's the opposite of a sun? You'd go like, oh, maybe it's empty space. But no, it's probably a black hole. That's more the opposite of a sun. So anyway, this is a long way of explaining that I'm actually going to be striving for a lack of doubt. So instead of like trying to be more confident or trying to be more playful, I'm actually going to strive for not being dour and like mopey, or not being unconfident, I guess. So that's... And I actually experimented with this yesterday, which was, there's a girl in the gym, and she had, I really like the framing of the face when they've got like the two strings of hair. I don't know what that style's called, but I've noticed it a lot more in the last year-ish.
Sure.
And I think it's going out of fashion, which is a shame because I'm seeing less of it. Anyway, I was like, I should go up and just give her a compliment and not make it sexual or anything. Just be like, here's a compliment. And that tying in with the directness of last month. And when I was going to do it, I still felt like the hesitation, the fear, and it was like, oh man, why can't you just be more confident? Why can't you do it? And that was when I kind of flipped the switch, and it's like, well, instead of like trying to get something that you don't have, the confidence, why don't you just try and let go of something that you do have, which is the uncertainty, the doubt, the fear of rejection. And that is what prompted me to actually go and do it. So I was like, all right, this is obviously working for me. I want to lean into that more.
Okay, cool.
15 more to go. Sorry, people. I'll make these ones quicker. Go out 3 days per week on weekdays. I haven't been going out as much this last month, especially during the week. So going out, and that implies I'll also be talking to people whilst out. Organised 2 events for friends group, or like friends, meeting up with them during this period. Explore other potential meetup events that'll also help me go out during weekdays. So that's tied in with that. Knuckle down on the remaining VFriends and base work. I've just got a whole bunch of things that I want to tick off on that. Backup wallets, but for real this time. I've been a bit slack with that. Ulrich gave me some advice on one-arm handstands, and so I'm going to experiment with some of the suggestions that he made.
Cool.
Book the Brizzy Marathon with Peeps, so I'd like to actually book that in. Yep. Alter the Grow Strong sheet, which is this sheet, kind of like a little morning routine that I have of like, all right, this is the annual goals that I have, and this is kind of like just a way to kickstart the day. Little, not motivation, or framing for the day, I guess you'd call it. Figure out what you really want. I talked with you about this yesterday, but it's come to my attention that some of my actions don't match exactly my goals. And so really nailing down what exactly it is that I'm, and so this is mostly related to like the partner, for example, because I'm doing some things which are like more maximizing freedom, but it's not tying exactly with that. So spending some time thinking about that. Apartment research in Kangaroo Point, renewing passport, but for real this time. Learn and practice interacting without intent. This guy at the gym was telling me his stories of how he's approaching women in a different manner, and it's intrigued me. I'd like to try it for myself. So getting a bit more, I guess without intent implies without kind of the sexual intent or tension. I want to see it. Total of less than 93,000 calories, the set amount of 150 grams of protein per day.
So a little bit more calories
per month? A little bit, yeah. I'm just anticipating a couple of like splurge days of it's Christmas time,
Sure.
you know. And then last two were I've noticed I've been doing a lot of not multitasking, but I'll get midway through a task, which will remind me to do something else. So I'll switch onto another tab and be doing that, and then eventually, like an hour later, come around to like, oh fuck, I was doing this originally, and I didn't do that. So I guess like more rigorous in my task switching and making sure like finish the task off completely, and then go on to a new one. I've actually had a lot of success of breaking up my how would you call it? My online profiles. So I've got a Brave browser, which is dedicated just for the podcast, one which is just for AI, one which is for kind of like NFT art type stuff. And it's been really good. I've actually enjoyed breaking that up. I find it quite useful. It was all in one big feed before, and it would just be like hitting with random macro shit, and then it's like an art thing, and then it's AI. It's like I couldn't separate it. So I've been good with that, but now it's actual task switching and finishing things. And then I've got a whole bunch of AI tasks related to agents, which I want to work through as well. So
cool.
Yeah, a whole bunch of stuff.
Plenty on for December.
Yeah. We'll see how much I get through that. Especially, I've noticed, for example, that I don't stretch in the mornings anymore. That's just been like the first thing I've kind of been cutting out to make more time for doing other things. Which
have you noticed any differences around that?
Honestly, it was
Has it been detrimental in any way?
No. I don't think it's affected the actual like handstand performance or physical performance. It's more I have not been consuming much podcasts and learning per se. So like the list is growing of to watch instead of shrinking.
I'm definitely at a point. The inflection point for me came and went a long time ago, where I follow enough podcasts that there's more than I have hours in every day of new stuff that comes out. So it's actually impossible for me to keep up with everything that's new. So I have to be selective of the ones I'm following.
It's been good. It's making me a bit more selective, and I'm going, here's some stuff which I probably, I was listening to this for entertainment rather.
I used to listen to things just because like there was particular creators. I'm like, oh cool, I'll just listen to everything that sort of comes out as maybe it'd be interesting. But definitely now I'm like, okay, skip. Okay, cool. I'll listen to that one. That's probably going to be a more interesting one.
So yeah, busy month coming up. I'm looking forward to it.
Fitness,
Finish
man. Off with
fitness. I have been killing it. So I've actually gotten a whole bunch of points. Finally. So
handstand points.
So yeah, biggest
10
news
seconds.
was a 10-second one-arm handstand. That's been a goal for a long time. So finally ticking that off was pretty epic. I've also achieved some of the legs goals, which was my kind of focus for this quarter.
Cool.
So that was just doing RDLs and Bulgarian split squats at a certain weight and for certain reps, which were replacing the old squat and deadlifts, which I had to do because I was just hurting myself trying to achieve them. So it wasn't good, man. Wasn't good. Little groin injury is doing well. So all I've got actually for our original exercises in 2019 and 2020, I've got to do an L-sit for 60 seconds and then all the rowing points. So this next kind of 3 to 4 months, I'm going to be working on the rowing and kind of like muscle ups / doing calisthenic stuff. So like 40 pull-ups unbroken is what I'm trying to get to. Doing, what is it? I think it's 60 dips unbroken, 80 push-ups unbroken. The air squat jump things, 100 of them. That's like the main stuff I'm working on for this month. So probably the fittest I've ever been. I'd say I'm at peak. Peak
we've talked about this
performance.
before around the couple of episodes ago, just in terms of fitness. I might not be the strongest I'll ever be was in the past, but when you kind of compare everything, with other types of movements, it's like, oh wow, okay, you're fitter overall than what you would just be previously. So no, I agree. I think in all domains, things are like the stats are increasing broadly, even if some particular ones have decreased from like at absolute max.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever be able to sprint as fast as perhaps I once could, but I could still run faster. I hope that's what'll happen. For the Brizzy Marathon, 6 months away, I'd like to get that 4 hour, break that 4 hour.
Yeah, I could see Kyrin doing that. I mean, you were on pace when you were doing all the way through a 3/4 marathon.
Yeah,
pace,
I was looking at that, and it took me about roughly 4 to 5 months to get to that. So I do actually need to start running. So it's kind of like rowing, and maybe I'll see if I can squeeze an extra run this month. It's already pretty busy. Probably not. I think it'll just stay like 5 kilometers at Soso's once a week, and I'll actually start running that this time. And then from next month onwards is when I'll.
If anything, I mean, it's not part of my goals, but what I want to do a bit more is speed work this month. If anything, I just like do shorter distances, and I've been again, caveat here, we're not runners, but I have been finding some joy in running sub 5 minute per kilometer pace. For
so you're gonna for this month you're reducing the running by what, a third, 2/3?
Yeah, two thirds. Yeah.
How much are you going to try and keep that going up until June, which is when the Brisbane
probably I'll probably just do it for the month of December.
Okay.
And then starting of next year, I'll start ramping it back up.
Okay.
But I'll have an interesting bump in the road in my running journey.
Yes.
In the next month. So, in the next year. So it will be like, okay, I'm planning on beginning it from the January with like a bit of a ramp up to then a bit of a ramp down month, and then another ramp up all the way through. So
sure.
Yeah. All right, I think we'll leave it there. I don't know if there's any comments or any questions from anybody at all. Mere Mortalites, thank you for sticking around. Again, monthly goals. If you're listening to this afterwards, feel free to drop in. Drop your notes in terms of yours. Discord, you can also do that as well. We also sent out our monthly goals a little bit advanced in there as well. Otherwise, we'll leave it there. Stick around if you're watching this live as well. We're going to be talking about mastery in a moment for meanderings. Otherwise, be well wherever you are in the world. One out.
Kyrin out. Bye.